How glad the many millions of Toms and Dicks and Williams would be to capture me. But you had such persistence, you wore down my resistance.
Hello, this is Nancy Hines Glazer with SOMATV's Meet the Artist program. I'm here with absolutely fabulous guests. All of our guests are wonderful, but in particular, I'm with two people dear to my heart, whom I've known now for a while. I have with me award-winning author Jan Slepian, writer of a new book we're going to talk about, and also Laura Schreiber, illustrator, watercolorist, who is the illustrator of the book we're going to discuss, Astonishment, Life in the Slow Lane. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, Nancy.
Well, not only am I astonished by the book, but just about everybody I know is who reads it. And you're from Maplewood, you're not. And you're from out in the country and living in a wonderful cabin.
Log cabin.
Yeah, a log cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And so part of what I found fascinating is how the two of you got together to cooperatively produce this amazing book. And first, I want you to give us a little of your history, Jan, because you have an extensive writing history.
Oh, being the age I am, that's a long way to go. How far back do you want me to go? I have been I was an established children's book writer, and about 9 years ago, I moved into a CCRC. Now, that stands for what does
Continuing?
Oh, yeah, continuing care, a retirement community. And once I was there, I looked around for something to do, and I can't garden. I'm a lousy gardener, don't play bridge. And eventually, I joined a startup newsletter, and then I began writing a column about being the age we are and being in the place we are. And so they seemed to go over pretty good. That was Astonishment. I was urged, after many of these columns that I wrote, called essayettes, little essays, I was urged to publish, but I had already done that. I didn't want to go through the regular channels. I knew what that was all about.
Been there, done that.
Been
How
there.
many books have you written? By the way?
28.
Yeah, that's quite.
Yeah.
You've been there, done that.
I only
for sure.
brought a few. It was hard enough to lug those. But that was then. This is now. And having written and having been through what it takes to go through a regular publisher, I said no. And then what happened was that my daughter had published on the internet a manual, and she urged me to go that route, and I thought, oh, well, I will.
What the hey?
What the hey? Can we say hell on this?
Well, not in our community. It's pretty
Okay.
pristine, but that's okay.
I'll be careful. I'll be very careful. So I decided to publish on the internet. However, I needed an illustrator. So I called a local artist, everybody probably in Maplewood. I think Fran Wellner is
Fran
her
Wellner.
name.
Everyone knows Fran.
Well, she knows everybody. I think she knows everybody on the planet. And I asked her for what for an illustrator. I told her what I needed. She knew my work, and I was halfway through saying what I wanted from her, and she said, I know the perfect person. So I called this perfect person.
Who's sitting next to you.
Who's sitting next to me, and Fran happened to be right, because she is. And I sent her one, I think it was one.
One.
Yeah.
It was Astonishment.
It was
right.
Astonishment.
The title essay.
You're going to have the audience will have a chance to hear you reading it, one of your presentations. They're going to hear you reading it, the one that you sent to Laura. So,
Well, then...
I believe I told you, only send me one. Because, you know, when Fran,
'Cause she
I always
was very
say,
careful.
when Fran tells
She
you to
was
do
being
something,
careful.
you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, and Fran said it that way. Laura, you're going to call her, and you're going to do this for her. Okay, Fran. And I just thought, I don't Google people, so I didn't Google her name. Had I done that, I probably would have been dumbstruck. But, so I didn't know she was an established writer, so I told her, just send me one, just one, because I figured I'd read it, and I'd figure out some way to get out of it.
She was being careful.
Yeah. So she emailed me the essay, and
And you liked it. That's it.
I know she hates me to go on about it, but I was really, really touched by that essay. And I read it through once, and I just sat there staring at the computer, staring at this thing going, wow. And I pulled over a piece of paper, and I sketched our cover lady, a real quick pencil over cover lady. And then I read the essay again. I thought, what is it? There's something here that's between the lines. There's something wonderful I'm reading. What is this? But for me, it was a sense of the positive tone of it, this a hopefulness or whatever. But I put the shooting star in there at the end, and then I sent it off to her, and
And then I fell in love.
and she said, "That's our
That's-
lady."
Oh,
And there we were off and running. So,
I
really
think
was,
she's
We were matched.
really marvelous. All right, so I had the illustrator, and I had the essays, and then there was the process of putting it all together. And that's when Laura and...
That's why she said it was easy. She didn't have to sit down and do
Yeah,
it.
I didn't have to. You have to be adept at the computer, for one thing, which I am not, but fortunately the perfect person over here is. And so she took care of the getting in touch with the publisher that we were going to use. And is there anything else you'd like to know?
Oh, yeah, well, and I'll tell you, because of the serendipitous way that happened, it's kind of, Fran is a pretty good friend broker, so she knows who's going to like who. And that's one of the other interesting things about living around here is I think you find
That's
people
right.
who go, wait, I just have to have you meet someone, you're just like them, or you'll get along.
Yeah, but it's rare. It's really rare to find a friend, certainly at my age. I mean, I found a genuine friend.
Yeah.
Which is probably the best thing that came out of this.
And it's rare that I put up with.
Well, and,
Yeah, right.
and that actually brings me to the next point, because Laura, you come with lots of years of artistic experience, both in the corporate world, and you've done designs that people have seen on TV, and we won't go into what those are, and you've done fine art painting. Many
Yes.
people have your works in their collections. They're always giant.
But I've
but
never
you
done
always...
Never did a book.
You never did a book, but I know when I first met you, you did humorous illustrations, is what you called it. And so this has kind of brought you back to where you were
My
20 some
original
years
love.
ago.
It was my original
Yeah.
love was humorous illustration.
And so once the connection was made, and once you found your lady, and once you agreed, and you guys got along, what I'm amazed by is that you're still friends, because I understand at the end of a process, it's often
sometimes, but
you're kind of like, time to take a break,
Well,
thank you.
No,
Well-
no, we really hit it off.
Yeah, we did.
I
Yeah.
don't want to say oddly enough, but no, we really did. And it's, I know that it took some little bit of pushing on my part. I remember when the book was finally finished, and some of my friends at work even saw it. I was selling it at work, and they were enjoying it. My niece, who's 27 years old, was finding some words of wisdom in it. So I told Jan, I said, I really think we ought to take this book out there. I think your peers would love it. They'd love to hear you read it. She said, been there, done that. I've done that. But I finally convinced her, let's just go once. And we went to a CCRC up in
Yeah.
Newton. And she...
It was a wonderful
It
experience.
was wonderful.
really
I mean,
wonderful.
and it really is. This is such a great thing. And one of the gals at the end of the program that we did thanked her for being this new voice for their generation. Because, I said these essays don't, I had my first friends I made when I moved to New Jersey at the time were 75, and I was 25. So, so I read that and I recognized this as being this is better. This is not just making fun of something. It's not only is it humorous, but it also deals with heavier issues, and it deals with them in a very, very, I don't know, not a light manner, but
Genuine, sensitive
yeah.
way.
In other words, the book just caught me. It really caught me, and that's why we, you know, let's take it out there. Let's do a little program. And
So what happened was, not only caught Laura, but when I went to that the first CCRC up in Newton, and people came up to me afterwards to press my hand and say, "You're our voice," and this, you know, I found myself on every page. I have to tell you that going through the regular channels with all these children's books that I've written, you pass this manuscript in and you wait a year before it's all published and so on, and then maybe another year you'll begin to get letters, fan letters. Here, it was immediate. I mean, I read one of these things, and people are laughing out there, or clapping, or whatever they're doing, snoozing, whatever they're doing, and it's wonderful. So I found a whole new, I don't know.
gig, you got a gig now.
Yeah, we have a show. We
The
call
Dog
it
and Pony Show.
No, we call
No,
it
all
the
right, no
Slutty
dogs,
and
no
Schreiber
ponies. We won't
Show.
go there.
No.
But yeah, so you actually have an immediate response from your
Yeah,
readers.
immediate.
Because the listeners
Yeah.
actually, and then
It's
they are the
great.
readers, and then they write you the letters, and I know that you've received a lot of letters and people thanking you, making it about how you've sort of opened up their channel of communication.
Can I, she won't mention it.
Is it-
I
can
just
you
do
tell
it in
you
2 minutes?
One
Can
letter,
you do it in
very
2 minutes
quickly.
before a break?
She received
Okay.
a letter, might have been from her doctor, thanking her. This woman read the book to her mother, who was dealing with cancer, had been for 2 years, and said it was one of the first times she heard her laugh for the first time in 2 years when she read that book to her. That's the kind of impression it's making. That's the kind of gift it is, really.
Impact, and as you say, you very often don't know that if it's a traditional publishing mechanism and it's a book that's in the library or the children's library at the
It's
or
very
the
nice,
school.
you get reviewed by, the Times, or, if you're lucky.
Well, be
But-
ready. Are you ready for that? Because once they see this, they'll be calling you.
Yes, well, I expect this. Doesn't this go on national?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
No,
Everywhere.
Actually, really, I think one of the reasons why this is a great type of program is people get to know a little bit beneath. What's beneath it? What's beneath the words? Who's the person who wrote it? Tell me. That's what people find interesting, really. Mm-hmm. And then often reading a book, they're trying to figure out, well, who is this person? They get lost in the story. Don't get me wrong. But they want to know who wrote it and what brings them to this conversation they're sharing with me.
Well,
So,
I want to say, if you're asking what's beneath, being in a retirement community is quite an experience. It's really quite fascinating, I find.
and some of that has been shared because we have to go for a break, and I don't want to give it all away. Can you hold on for a minute? Make our audience
I don't
come back.
think so. I mean,
Please.
You're asking me to remember something?
Yeah, okay. It's only a couple of seconds. Anyway, stay tuned. Don't turn that dial. We're going to take a momentary break, and when you come back, you're going to have a chance to hear Jan reading at one of the events, and we'll have her read on camera.
Oh.
Don't turn that dial.
You're my big and brave and handsome Romeo. How
After 17 years working as a mason, Mike was laid off. I met him when he came into the library looking for help. He found a job opening, but the application was only online. Mike said he'd spent his entire life around tools, but had never used a computer. I showed him how, and he ended up applying for numerous jobs online. I saw Mike the other day. His new computer skills paid off. He's working again.
New Jersey libraries are transforming lives. Tell us your story.
won you, I will never, never know.
And welcome back. Nancy Hines Glazer here with Jan Slepian, the author, Laura Schreiber, the illustrator for Astonishment, Life in the Slow Lane. And I made you stop, Jan, but
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
Not a clue.
Okay. Well, that's okay, because what we're going to do is give you a moment and give the audience a moment to see a wonderful segment of you reading the essay, Astonishment, at one of your presentations, the essay upon which this book was based. So, have a look and enjoy.
I'm about to sue my body for non-support. I never dreamed that things would get this bad between us. I thought we were friends. Me and my body. Nay, more than that. Not just friends. We were one and the same entity. No difference between us. Was there something in the other room that I had to fetch? Something from the refrigerator? More likely. Okay, I would get up from a chair in a single movement and get to where I was going without thought, without even an instant awareness of the complicated machinery that would get me there. That was then, this is now, I'm suing. Isn't there a breach of promise in there someplace? Didn't we have an agreement, something like a prenuptial? In other words, I thought we had a deal, me and my body, or at least an understanding. I thought I was on this earth with a guarantee for life to have a workable body, like a warranty. I know now that this blissful assumption is called youth. If I had such a warranty, it has expired. It seems as if warranties always expire right before something breaks down. We need a new parts department. Imagine a place with lots of bins full of fresh, new, workable parts to choose from. Ears that hear, skin that sticks to the bones, perfect spines, agile legs. Where could one stop? If I don't go to court, to whom do I complain? I imagine the scene in the complaint department, me. I want to trade in these legs. They don't work so good anymore. Complaint department. Lady, you should get down on your knees and thank the good Lord for what you still can do. Me. That's what I'm complaining about. If I got down on my knees, I couldn't get up. Complaint department. Next. So I'll see you in court.
And welcome back. Hope you really, really loved it, because it's what hooked me to hear our author read Astonishment. And I know in watching that clip, I got to see what led up to it and what was after it, and that was a lot of applause and a lot of appreciation. And we were talking about that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The applause and the appreciation being immediate as opposed to
But I have to tell you that that clip that you saw, that was our first sort of foray into what turned out to be a path from the publishing of this book to something opening up for us that we never, certainly I never dreamed that I would be sashaying around to one place and another, getting all the feedback that I do, and having this marvelous renaissance, almost.
At this time of your life, when you were,
who would dream? Not me. So it's been a marvelous experience, unusual, rare.
And you also now have a CD out with your readings, which I think is also wonderful, because a lot of people may not be able to read the book.
Yes, some people do come up and, who are sight limited and
we had a blind woman at the very first program.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk to Eyes of New Jersey. We have them right here, and they're a transmission of news service for listeners in the home. So now you got me started.
You never know where something will lead.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and one of the things, we're surrounded by this amazing imagery, Laura, and that one in particular is my favorite. Although I like
Oh, no, I
shrinkage
love
too.
that.
I like shrinkage. I'm a victim of shrinkage. And once you get older, everybody out there, if you're old already, you know what I mean. If you're not, sorry for you, because you'll know what I mean soon. And then this one is just fabulous. Ladies sharing, layering. But the shrinkage issue is true about your height. You do
That's
get shorter.
downsizing.
Downsizing.
Yeah.
But this one, I
This is
think, because this is the conversation I'm talking about. What's beneath it? It's between generations now. We're having.
Well, she gets a phone call from her daughter. Her daughter had a birthday and said, "Guess what? I'm now a member of AARP." And the woman's remembering, wasn't it just yesterday? That's my kids were in diapers, and now they're members of AARP.
And
Yeah.
times have changed.
That comes from one of the essayists. Yeah, shock and awe.
Shock and awe, yeah.
Well, you have your own version of shock and all. That's
Yeah,
correct. I
that's
remember
shock
that.
and awe.
But that was one of the things that I thought was important, is opening up the dialogue, not only for people to speak about what it feels. You don't want to dwell on negatives. That's certainly one of the things we all learn.
Well,
Nobody's
yeah.
going to listen to you anyway. Don't talk to me about your hip. I get this at home. But what it's done is open up pathways to communicate through the visual medium and through generations. And that's why I love this pairing,
Oh, yeah.
because you are decidedly different in age.
You noticed.
I sort of did. Okay.
How did she do?
Yeah. How did I know?
Well, listen, wouldn't you agree we live, or maybe it's the world, but I think our society in particular, what do I always say, that they're too age conscious. They're too, I had a good word for it and I forgot it. That's my age.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, when we're together, it's almost like you have to, well, I don't remind myself. There's no age. She has a great line in the book about there's that part of ourselves, that essence of ourselves
That
that
is
has
timeless.
that's timeless, that has no age. And I think the sooner you come to that place, feel comfortable in that place, the richer your life becomes. We all have a time when we're really young, when we're scared of old people, but this age thing is ridiculous. To have friends of all ages is fantastic. And so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, but I think, that's exactly what I wanted to do, because I feel that there are a lot of young people out there that see it as all a mystery, or it's only about their moment in time.
Yeah.
And there are many moments in time, and there are many years ahead. And anything we can do to help everybody's experience to understand that we're all connected, no matter how old we are, what race we are, where we live. And that soon too, they will understand the message. And that's what I like the most about it for myself, is I found a lot of myself in there. I found laughing. I got teary-eyed. I did. And
That's
anyone who's
sweet.
lost a parent, I
That's
think
nice.
also, it
Yeah.
opens up the vehicle for conversation for that. Because that's not always easy to talk about.
That's
Because nobody
nice.
wants to listen
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, your last essay.
I had no
right?
intention. I had no notion of the audience when I write these things. I'm just, speaking, welling up the experience I have living in the place I do, and seeing the gains and seeing the pains. And hoped that I was able to express what it meant to be in a place of retirement and facing what we faced with a lot of courage.
The balance beam is still one of my favorites, the very last
Oh, the balance
essay,
beam.
and that deals with facing the end of your life. And I remember she didn't have it in the original set that she showed me. And as we got to know each other and trusted one another, and she brought this out and said, I have this other essay, but I'm not sure, should I put it in the book because it's a little more serious? And that's the one that made me cry. And I said, yeah, I think that's the one you ought to end with. So there's a good balance in the book. There's nothing that she won't talk about with grace and with humor. And
Goodness.
Tongue-in-cheek sometimes, but
Yeah.
would you do us a treat and read one? I'm hoping we have enough time.
Oh, sure, I'd love to. I'd
The
love
one
to.
I really love,
What?
which makes me
You
laugh,
choose.
warranty
You
expired.
choose.
Warranty expired. I have 2
That's-
minutes. Can you do it in 2?
If I read very fast.
Okay. All right.
Warranty expired.
Just in case, I'm going to say goodbye because we don't want to mess it up. How wonderful it's been having Laura Schreiber, the
Thanks.
illustrator, Jen Suffy,
Yeah, and
the
thank
author, Astonishment, Life in the Slow Lane. Look for it at Amazon. Go online. Watch where they're at. You'll see them somewhere. And go ahead, Jen.
I'm about to sue my body for non-support. Long ago, I never dreamed that things would get this bad between us. I thought we were friends, me and my body. Nay, more than that. Not just friends, we were one and the same entity. No difference between us. Was there something in the other room that I had to fetch? Something from the refrigerator? More likely. Okay, I would get up from a chair in a single movement and get to where I was going without thought, without even an instant awareness of the complicated machinery that would get me there. That was then, this is now, I'm suing. Isn't there a breach of promise in there someplace? Didn't we have an agreement, something like a prenuptial? In other words, I thought we had a deal, me and my body, or at least an understanding. I thought I was on this earth with a guarantee for life to have a workable body, like a warranty. I know now that this blissful assumption is called youth. If I had such a warranty, it has expired. It seems as if warranties always expire before something breaks down. We need a new parts department. Imagine a place with a lot of bins full of fresh, new, workable parts to choose from. Ears that hear, skin that sticks to the bones, perfect spines, agile legs. Where would one stop? If I don't go to court, to whom do I complain? I imagine the scene in the complaint department. Me. I want to trade in these legs. They don't work good anymore. Complaint department. Lady, you should get down on your knees and thank the good Lord for what you can still do. Me. That's what I'm complaining about. If I could get down on my knees, I couldn't get up. Complaint department. Next!
That just cracks me up every time I read it. And the older I get, since it was a year ago I
The
met
closer
you,
the bone.
the more it rings true. But and you read it so beautifully. I think, what I have to do now is get ready to
wrote it.
go, and I'm upset. But we don't want to give away too much anyway, so I just want to say thank you for joining us.
It was
and
fun.
inspiring
We
us,
enjoyed
both of
it
you.
a lot.
And thank you for joining us out in the audience.
Enjoyed you too.
And we hope you enjoyed Jan and Laura. I certainly did.
The world would pardon my mush, 'cause I have got a crush. My baby